Hello bass family and welcome to Everything Bass. I've been enjoying showing you guys the slap grooves, and so we're at slap groove 8 and this is a very cool one. I really like this one a lot. It's not so much a groove as a way to maybe play a little lick after like a bridge or going into a chorus or something where you want to play like a melody line but in a slap process. This is just a method. So I'm going to show you an example, but I'm more excited to hear what you guys can do with it yourself. So let's jump right in. So we are going to start with the 12th fret, and well, let me play it. I'll play the lick first and then we'll break apart. So it's basically a melody line, which is this. And then a bunch of muted thumbs. So I'm really treating that line as a drummer might, between the kick and the snare is that line, but the hi-hat I'm putting in there to kind of create this another rhythmic diversity into it, make it a little bit more interesting, and keep that real kinetic motion going, that dynamic energy. So let's break it down. This one again, for you Patreon subscribers, you may want to pause the video, go to patreon.com/everythingbass. Find this video, it's a post, Slap Groove 8, just like a normal post on social media. Click on it, open up the post, you'll find the link to the PDF. It's written in tab and standard notation. So just download it, print it out, and it might help you with this lesson. I kind of believe it will. So the first thing we're going to do with the pinky on our fretting hand, we're going to pop that G and pull it off to the 9th fret E. And that's 2/16 notes. And then I just do a wrist mute and I pop the E again. So that sounds like this. Now quicker, it's got a cool vibe to it. Okay, so then we do a double muted thumb and a slide down, and we're gonna pop the D on the 7th fret and hammer onto the E. So that's just, see how easy these things can be when you break them down slowly? So the first beat, second beat. So I love that. It's kind of fun and cool. After that, we're doing the bracket looks weird on the sheet music, but it's a muted thumb that pops that D and then 2 muted thumbs. So that bracket by itself, beat 3 is, that's it. Come on, that's simple, guys. I'm not making light of it. I know sometimes playing it at tempo and putting all this together can be a challenge, but when you break it down, it actually is quite simple. So that one is, so if we put it together, it sounds kind of cool. That's it. Now after that, we're going to get off of the popping on the G string. We're going to go to the D string. And we're kind of doing a similar phrase. We're going to pop the 7th fret A, hammer on to the 9th fret B, and do 2 muted thumbs. So that one, like that. Then we slide, let's see. Oh no, we're going. So it's going to sound, let me put it together so you can hear it in flow. That kind of is the end of that phrase, if you will. And then we start there. So let me break that down. Pop the A, hammer on to the B, wrist mute, and then pop the A. And 2 muted thumbs. Slide down, pop the G, hammer on to the A, and then 1 muted thumb, and then a G, then 2. And now we're ending the phrase by popping the D on the A string, 5th fret, and hammering on to the E. I'm going to do my best to play this really slowly. Hopefully this will help kind of see it in context. Now at tempo. Oh, I love that so much. Love that so much. Oh, man. So I said it earlier in the video that this is an example, but I don't want it to be the stopping point. Once you get this down, move around. I'm using basically the E minor pentatonic scale, and my melody is based on that with just muted E string thumbs in between. You can change the scale, you come up with your own melody. The suggestion I have first is come up with the melody by itself. Like in this example, I came up with, and then I started finding how I could put double thumbs, a single thumb, a muted, in between there and create something that had a lot of rhythm and motion to it. I'm dying to know what you guys think of this. So, work it out. Get mine down as an example first. And then if you come up with other ones, take a cell phone video of it and email it to me at dtitus@daletitus.com, or share it on our Facebook group. Remember, you can go to Facebook, search Everything Bass with Dale Titus, hit follow, join the family, and if you've done a variation of this, I'd love to hear it. I would love to hear it. That would just make me so happy. And that's Slap Groove 8. What do you think? What do you think? How's it working for you? Now let's move on to the Encore Item. And it's funny because people have been like saying, hey, I noticed you haven't done any Encore Item for Victor Wooten. I love Victor Wooten. Victor Wooten, man, I love everything about the guy. Not only his playing, but his character. I love his appreciation for nature. Man, he's definitely a Mount Rushmore bass player. But it's funny, initially I thought, well, everyone knows Victor. I mean, it's not like going to be a revelatory moment when I say, hey, look, a show of hands. And you guys are like, yeah, I know, it's awesome. But I wanted to make sure I address it because he is a very important person in my development. So I'm going to go maybe to an album you don't know, which is Soul Circus. Soul Circus, wow. When I, like many of you probably, whenever he comes out with a new video or a new recording, I just get it because I know it's going to be great. This one really blew my mind. First of all, the talent on this recording. If you read the liner notes on the CD, and you see all the guest bass players, all the guest musicians, it's amazing. The songwriting, I wouldn't call these like a bassist album. It's not like a bass player wrote a bunch of songs to showcase bass playing. They're just great songs. In case in point, the creativity behind the song Cell Phone is brilliant. Listen to the lyrics. Think about the social, like when you go to a restaurant, you see everyone at their table on their phones instead of talking. But there's a humor to it. He used the touch tone pads melodically. I just think that was great. Of course, the title track is brilliant, and I challenge you to sit perfectly still and listen to that without tapping a foot or nodding your head or something. I mean, it's just so groovelicious. It's amazing. But I want to, for the sake of just this quick Encore Item, I want to talk about one track, which is called Bass Tribute. And it's actually the track, and then he does a reprise later where he talks about, adds to it. But this just knocked me on my socks because Victor and all his bass playing friends wanted to pay tribute to the bass players that inspired them. And so it has lyrics, and they talk about Jaco Pastorius, Stanley Clarke, all these bass players. But listen, after they say a bass player's name, is they emulate the bass player's style. So when they mention Jaco Pastorius, you'll hear this little quick snippet of someone imitating Jaco's style so beautifully. When they talk about Larry Graham, it's a variation, I believe, of Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again. But the tone, the technique, I mean, every time they talk about a different bass player, they give a sample, and that had to be so much fun to put together. It's a hook. I mean, you will sing this in your head walking around. It'll be stuck. It's a beautiful earworm. It's an earworm I want to live in my ear forever. But what I love about it is what I want to always do. When I was the editor of Bass Frontiers, I wanted to make sure people understood the history of our instrument, the founding fathers and mothers that came through and changed our bass playing and gave us more opportunities. And this song does this. This is the ultimate song of respect. When they later do, towards I think it's the last track, I believe, they kind of fade back in because they realized I'm guessing here, don't hold me wrong, but it seemed like they wanted to talk about more bass players, and they didn't want to leave anyone off the list, so they add more bass players and stuff. They might not emulate the playing of each bass player, but they just were doing it out of respect. And what's not to love about that? That's one of the things I love about the bass playing community is, by and large, we all respect each other. We are rooting for each other. We teach each other, we learn from each other, and this song is like, this should be our theme song. Bass Tribute should be the Everything Bass theme song, but I can't afford the rights. So that's it. Slap Groove 8 and Soul Circus with Victor Wooten. Check both out. Let me know what you think. Hey, as always, I don't want to say this as like some kind of pattern thing, but if you could like this video, just take a moment and hit the little thumbs up down there. It really actually goes a long way to helping grow the channel, at least in the YouTube's eyes, because they see a lot of active likes. It helps the channel out. Of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon, and that'll notify you every time I post a video. Most of all, share it with other bass players. If this is the first video you've come across, or maybe the first couple of videos, and you're thinking, oh, you know who would like this? Share it with them. I really want this to be all-inclusive. Everyone who wants to be part of the family can be part of the family. And that's what I'm excited to see happen. And it's happening. I mean, it's growing fast, especially not only this channel, but our Facebook group is really growing. And it's such a fun way every day to kind of just interact with bass players. And I think you'll like it. So that's it, guys. I will see you at our next video.